TJ, and here's another rant. Probably going to end up putting this in with worse players, but it's the concept of that's what my character would do. I've heard that excuse so many times. It's childish, simplistic, very simple-minded way of being able to get away with doing dumb, derailing, antisocial, violent actions and trying to sum it up in one line just because that individual doesn't feel like doing anything further with their character. Now, I'm pretty passionate about it because I've seen it used in such negative ways that any positive connotation with it requires a healthy dose of explanation from me. Now, here's what I mean by that's what my character would do. All right. A lot of times it's used as an excuse to attack or destroy or dismantle another player character's creation, their character, something like that. And I had this conversation with another commenter and subscriber and a pretty good guy, Dave S. He's out there. He'll know what I'm talking about. Where I've had the idea of, like, let's take example for classic D&D and Pathfinder and such. You got yourself a ranger, right? So you pick your hated enemy. You get bonuses to destroy this hated enemy. And I said, okay, well, my character's going to destroy orcs, right? So I'm a ranger. And another player character says, well, I'd like to play a half-orc in the group. And the first thing out the person's mouth is, well, I would kill your character because that's what my character would do. And without giving thought to being inclusive, to create player and group cohesiveness, because how much of a better story would it be to have this ranger who grew up despising, absolutely hating orcs and the horrific things they've done to him and his family, and then turn around and find out that this, half-orc being is just as much a truly living, breathing, thinking being as himself, so that over time they end up creating a relationship of one of conflict and compromise, where the ranger is so good at killing orcs that his half-orc friend looks at him horrifically, while at the same time the half-orc has to defend himself against his people by befriending a human whose sole goal in life is to destroy the orc nation. It makes for, to me, that kind of situation makes for a much better, much more compelling story of these two people who basically should hate each other's guts, but somehow find a common ground and end up creating a tenuous but long-lasting friendship that's tested over and over again, as they both have to both defend themselves from those of their kind, and then figure out ways for them to remain friends while they're also pursuing their own, the orc pursuing his own semi-barbaric motivations, and the ranger performing his wholesale, let's eradicate all the orcs mission. And so I feel like that is a harder story to tell, much more compelling, could create more player cohesiveness within the group, creates much better opportunities to role play between the players, for the game master throwing stories than the simplistic 10-second line of that's what my character would do. Because really the answer to that's what my character would do is, I do not feel like challenging myself, and I really want a simple excuse to get away with what I'm doing. Because using that's what my character would do is you deciding that's what your character is going to do. You've decided that your character is a one-note character, and you've already made the decision that I am not going to think outside the box. I'm not going to be a fully developed going to create a fully developed character. They're not going to think or have individual thoughts. They are not going to be hot, cold, lukewarm in various situations. They are going to be one way and one way only. I am a paladin, and I use smite on evil. That's what my character would do. You might as well play a robot. Why even show up at the game? We can roll the dice for you. You know, create compelling characters. Create reasons why. Don't say things like, well, that's what my character would do because he's chaotic neutral. No, come at it the other way. My character's chaotic neutral because of these elements. This is what my character would do because of these elements in this particular situation. So I just had to go off a little bit because it really annoys me that we have role-playing games give such an enormous amount of opportunity to delve into some great stories, to create long-lasting elements. And one of my litmus tests in terms of creating stories is, would I go to that movie? Would I spend money on that book? Would I give that movie a thumbs up? If I read this in a short story, would I really like that character? Those are the kind of things that are my litmus tests. And if I'm just running a game with a bunch of a-holes around, I would be bored watching that in a movie. I probably wouldn't pick up the book if somebody suggested it to me. So personally, one-note characters just are terrible. And there's an easy way to break out of it. Let's just think a little bit harder. So anyway, that's my rant for today. So thanks for paying attention, guys. And as always, with Sophie, this is Sophie, Miss Sophia Loren thinks she's all that. As always, create, don't destroy. Right, Kitty? Yeah.